If you are a content creator and you think your videos are looking flat, dark, just straight up boring, it's not your camera and you don't need to go buy a new one. It's your lighting. And the best part is you can fix it with one window and one light. Welcome back to Just the Tip Tuesday. Let's get into it. So most creators think that when they come into a room, they need to turn on all the lights. Their head, the overhead light, their RGB lights, their other lights, open up all the windows and allow as much light in as possible. And that's not ideal because it's going to give you a very flat look. Matter of fact, let me show you right now. See, good lighting isn't about having the brightest video out there. It's actually about shaping and separating the light. And I try to keep mine super simple. So the first light that I want to talk about is actually one that you don't even need to buy because you have them in most of your house, and that is your window light. The way I have my desk set up, my window light faces me and I face my camera at an angle to allow the separation of the light to my face and the shadows. And the reason I do that is because if I were to move it, say, in front of me, as you're seeing now, it would give me a flatter profile and it just doesn't look good. If my entire face is lit, maybe even a little bit blown out, you kind of lose that contrast. So angling it is obviously a better approach. But that's not just the only benefit of it. See, window light is soft, natural, and it's one of the best lights that you can use as a creator because you constantly have it with you. It's free. Position is key. If you were to shoot with the window behind you, you get a silhouetted look. And some people like that. But if you're trying to go for more of a quote-unquote cinematic look, it just doesn't look good. Let's talk about the second light that I use. These are interchangeable terms, rim light, hair light, they're both the same thing. And I use the newer CB60B studio light with a lantern box on it and then a ProMaster LS2 stand, C-stand to hold the light. And that usually sits behind me to give me dimension to separate the background from me to the background. Adds a little bit of light here. If I were to turn it off, per se, as you're seeing now, you'd get a flatter, again, look, and you would have no separation of the background. And I'm using this as my rim light, which for a full setup behind me to get something like this, it's about $200, but there are cheaper pancake lights that you can use off of Amazon for about 40 to 60 bucks. One of the other things with a hair light or rim light, it doesn't need to be crazy bright. You can use a lamp. This is actually set to 10%, so you're not looking to get the brightest light out there to put behind you. You are literally just putting something to add separation between you and your background. So let's talk about the third and final thing that I use to obviously achieve this look, which is my camera. And I am using the Canon R6 Mark II, but when I first started, I was on a Canon T7i, which is a DSLR camera that shoots 1080p. Because, as I've learned to shape the light and separate the things behind me, in front of me, and around me, I've been able to achieve a better look. But with that comes the settings, and you probably want to know them. So for the first part, my camera is set at 24 frames a second, which gives you that natural motion blur that you see. The shutter speed is double the frame rate. So if I'm shooting at 24, it should be 48. Most cameras don't do that, so I do one over 50. And then for the aperture, I try to open it up as wide as it will go. On this lens, it is 2.8. Other lenses don't allow you to open up that much, but that's for another video. If you actually want me to talk about the exposure triangle and how to manipulate that with your lens saying only having a set aperture of 4.0, let me know down in the comments. But I keep these settings because it allows me to have that dynamic background and range when I'm shooting video. And then on top of that, this background's a little messy right now, but I will be adding more stuff in, and that's for another video. But if you are trying to improve your videos, don't overcomplicate the setup. Just start with one good light source, such as a window, add a lamp behind you for some separation of the background, and then focus on moving that lamp or moving yourself to shape and separate the environment around you. And that's it for this week's Just the Tip Tuesday. If you made it this far in the video and you aren't subscribed, maybe consider subscribing. If you are a return subscriber, thank you for being a part of my channel. I appreciate it. Maybe give the video a thumbs up if you learned something, and I will catch you in the next one.